Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Blakert_CS channel. And tonight we are taking a look at Mavrek versus Mungy Inc. ESEA Season 56 Open 910. And I hinted at it a little bit. We had a special guest, and that special guest is going to be Zeph to help guide us through the action. We also have Exploding behind the camera. And Zeph, thank you for joining me tonight.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me, man. And I'm very excited for this game. Actually, I was not aware that we were actually gonna have Bernie Pro Mod in the server, and that's my
Hmm.
boy right there. So I'm
Yeah.
very excited for this.
Yeah, one of our good friends. And we talked about it a little bit. Bernie is a little bit of a confidence-based player, but in
Mm.
terms of Maverick as a whole, it feels like they've been able to really put the pieces together in the last couple of weeks, finding 3 victories, although they did come a little bit short against Nomadic Tactics. However, in terms of Mungy Inc., they face a little bit of a little bit of that same record, sitting at 3-2. And for tonight, we're heading to Overpass, which isn't something we've seen out of Maverick. So a lot of questions to be answered in terms of my book.
Well, the answers will soon be found as Maverick will be starting on that CT side. And the aggression towards B. Be playing dexterous. Going to go on and try and open things off here. Kill towards JJ, but he's not going to find it. JJ finds it instead. Finds another one under the head of Skitty as well. Okay. Very interesting there. He's doing a lot of damage, but Gooster and Swift find the kills in return.
Yeah, immediate trade back, a little bit of an over swing, or a little bit of overextension, I guess I could say, from Arkham. And the 2v3 retake is on. As we mentioned, there was a little bit of damage dished out from JJ before he went down, so Swift and Cedar dropped down to less than 40 HP. But Swift is going to take this first little bit of contact, and he's double peeked, or he has a double peek, I guess. And Shock, left towards short, is all on his lonesome. And not much to be done here. The crossfire's been set up, and finds the kill. I didn't see the R at the end there. And Mungy find their first round, and Zeph, it felt a little bit interesting from JJ able to find some early picks there, but there's no way that he's going to be able to play Toxic, or anyone on Maverick are going to be able to play Toxic again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it also kind of worked out into JJ's favor there for a little bit. You know, he found the first 2 opening frags, was even distracting the remaining 3 Mungy players out there, and gave a chance for, I believe it was Arkham and Pulverize. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, the 2 of them over towards that B site. They had free kills essentially. They weren't able to connect. Forcing that loss in the round as JJ wasn't able to hold them off forever. But Pulverize will find one on a Skitty. Gooster and Swift quick trades in retaliation. So Pulverized. Oh my god, that's gonna mess
That
with
one's
me.
gonna throw you. That one's gonna throw you for a loop.
And
But
you know what's bad? It's not even like the hardest name to cast either. You know.
yeah,
Like,
we've seen some crazy ones together, but I'm sure you've seen some crazy ones in your time because you have a little bit more experience under your belt than I do.
they're the one team that makes me very angry to cast is, and I think they're a pug stack. They go to the frag ruins a lot. There's 3 players on this team named Galaxy, or no, it's Galaxy spelled out like Galaxy. They have
Oh, and then you
Galaxy,
have
which is GLXY, and then you have
I know who you're
Galactic.
talking about.
And
I
I'm
know
like,
exactly who you're talking about.
and what are the odds that that has happened? I don't think I've ever casted or even heard of a CS team where you have 2 players, not only 2 players, but 3 players with such similar or exact usernames.
I mean, just wait until we have a frag event where we have all of the toasties from North American Counter-Strike play on a team together. That's at least 3, right? We have Nut Toasty, we have Corrupt Toasty, and then there's now Freeze Unit Toasty, but Skitty is a little bit skittish up towards short. His teammates have taken a little bit of damage. Swift as well dropped down to 46 HP, and it's spread contact. The bomb is still out towards T-spawn for the side of Mungy. I think that's what we're going with, right? Mungy instead of Mungy?
Yeah, Mungy. Now, I'd like to pronounce it however they pronounce it, but unfortunately I'm illiterate, so I can't really pronounce words at all, apparently. But Mungy can find 2 opening frags. It's going to be Mavrek now onto the back foot. JJ will be put some pressure on him towards this B bomb site as the rotations will be coming in. Bomb's still down towards T-spawn. They're going to have to pick it up, though. But a bit of a whiff spray there as Cedar's able to close out. B bomb site should be rightfully theirs. It's got to leave Arkham and Pulverized down to 2-on-5.
Yeah, and save should be the call. You can see Pulverized running towards Playground. Arkham starting to make his retreat as well. So, a correct call if you're Maverick, and some interesting split aggression from, I'm going to be honest, Zeph, I like Mungy. more than I like Mungy. Mungy is has a ring off the tongue, you know.
I mean, it sounds like I'm saying monkey, and I feel weird.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, now that you say that, now
I
now
feel
that you
weird.
say that, we got to say Mungy. Now that
Yeah.
you say that. So, Mungy had some great split aggression throughout the map. I think that early contact up towards short, on towards B, really put a little bit of a wrench in towards Maverick's rotation plan because it caused JJ to feel the pressure, and we even saw it kind of come to fruition in terms of his misspray towards pillar. But as Arkham finds an exit, there's going to be a third round on the menu for Mungy, and Swift finds another kill out towards long onto the AWP of Pulverize. So that's an investment knocked out of the hands of Maverick, and with one rifle left, I think you just play the hero rifle and rush towards Fountain, no?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to. It looks like Arkham there has a flashbang to maybe flash above Fountain behind his teammates, kind of maybe blind out any players of Mungy that kind of want to peek out there. And that's really the only play you can have. But it looks like Pulverize is going to be opting to go towards this long area. But you've made the right call, Blakert. It does look like they're going to be stacking towards this Fountain area. But meanwhile, the rest of the T side will instead be going to that standard default.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about these two players taking contact in towards Connector, especially against the upgraded pistols, but I guess when the utility's on point, it doesn't necessarily matter. A little bit of a missed nade gets some great T damage, but Dexterous finds 2 kills. Arkham is going to shut down Swift, and Dexterous hits the floor as well, so there's a little bit of room to be gained if you're Maverick. There's an isolated duel coming towards Pulverized Crosshair, but he just narrowly misses it. And Mungy have free access to this B site.
There's a real possibility here if Pulverize wants to pick up a rifle over towards that Fountain area. There should be one over towards Party, and then this retake could technically be on here. He has picked up the A4. Bomb's just now getting planted. He's made his way through towards that close short area, but it's instantly an elimination for Pulverize. It's a 4-0, a flawless start for Mungy.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm going back and forth between them. I'm having to like pause whenever I say it.
Yeah.
And the one thing that really sticks out to me is that Mungy have a really keen awareness to hold a player back in the rotation spot, whether that's, I believe it was Gooser in that last round holding outside of Connector, or even on some of these A plays whenever they're trying to go out towards long, they're trying to hold top Connector and force Maverick to go hunting through Connector, and I think that's going to establish some sort of conditioning to where Maverick's rotations are going to become a little bit longer and more dependent on their spawn rotate, and then create some opportunity for an advantage or a split of the rotations. But as I'm trying to spit my words out, JJ finds 2 kills, and Arkham found one wall blind. Swift is dropped to 6 HP, and it's a 2v4. And as much as I fumble over my words, Arkham is not fumbling over the bullets. It's 2 kills, and Swift has 6 HP to work with.
This is the best round we've seen out of Mavrek so far. They're going to have 4 remaining alive. JJ did a damn good job kind of finding a double there. Of course, the chime in from Arkham to find his 2 as well. So it's going to be a first round on the board for Mavrek. And the AWP coming up for the first time as well, if I'm not mistaken.
And if I'm in Maverick's shoes, I'm stacking the A side here. I don't think there's any way in hell that Mungy try to knock on the doorstep of B once more. I think the few rounds that they have gone B, it's been off of the back of, you know, a lesser buy from the side of Maverick, so it's good to see them actually try and divert the strategy, but we're going to see a little bit of a B stack from the side of Maverick this time, and as I talked about, Mungy favoring the A side.
I'll be honest, maybe I'm just
Never
out of
seen
the
that
loop
smoke.
because I haven't hugged in quite a long time, but I've never seen that smoke before. That's a new one for me, the smoke off the door.
Yeah, I do as well. I'm used to just nading the door and then throwing the smoke through and then mollying up the stairs, so maybe we'll see that one on the big stage pretty soon. Dexter's close to taking contact. Shock is going to be faced with a lot of pressure, but he has the advantageous position, and there is an op scope trained on him, so if he's a little bit too aggressive, then he might be faced with it. And as the contact comes in, Pulverize is good for the trade, but the reswing is a little bit too aggressive. A counter flash comes over the top, but the op shots are not connecting from Maverick, and the offensive is on.
Pulverize shooting that laser beam of an AWP as he takes down Skitty as well.
Oh, look at this rotation.
Immediately rotates. Heater's not going to expect this at all. JJ's going to be gifted a free frag there, but the rotations are still coming into play. Gooser's making all the noise, and JJ should realize Nate's not going to eat him. He's going to be playing around this pillar. Bomb brought over by Swift. AWP still in action. JJ just needs to hold this position. He doesn't need to swing at all, and time is ticking down. And he does have some help over in heaven as Bernie's going to be raining death from above, trying to catch all the cannons. He's going to come out now as Gooser
Oh,
gets the
beautiful.
and JJ finds another double. So he's having a
Beautiful.
great game so far.
Yeah, absolutely. JJ being that solid B anchor that you want on overpass, able to find multi-kills in whatever situation that you put him in, and even has the coordination with that or B rotator player to say, hey, take this initial contact, I'll swing from pillar, and has the wherewithal to be able to wrangle the M4 spray down and gets gifted an AK-47 for his troubles. AWP in the hands of Pulverize still remains, but I'd like to see him connect more of those shots. We saw it on that initial contact up towards bathrooms that the shots weren't connecting, and those are the kills that you really need to have to really cement that man advantage.
One thing I've kind of started to notice, Blaker, with how the game is currently played, since this is really just a gun round right here. Well, actually, we'll get back to that in just a moment. Okay. Skitty picks up an AWP off Pulverize. Cedar picks up the A4, so it should still be an uphill battle for them here. Bernie's going to be playing close dumpster, not wanting to peek out too aggressively. Yeah, no bomb. This is might be a bit of a misplay here. But Arkham's going to hear this being picked up, and the rotation should be underway.
Oh, but Arkham's made a crucial mistake, I think. He's heard that rotation to get the bomb and immediately retreated. Skitty finds JJ on the rotation up, but that kind of gives a little bit of an inclination for Bernie to sneak out. It's created a little bit of a gap in the timing, but as the defensive smoke is dropped, Skitty has to go hunting with this AWP, and with that closed FOV, it makes it a lot easier for these Maverick birds to fly through the clouds. Switches to that Glock, and it's a ring around the rosy at this point as Skitty has collected the bomb. And now thinks about rotating towards B, which would be the optimal move, and he's sticking to his guns, trusting the thought process, and is trying to rotate down. Bernie Promod slowly on the approach, but Skitty's hearing the footsteps, and there's an opportunity to rotate back up, but Bernie Promod should have the free kill, and actually, no, Skitty gives a little bit of a chase. Is going to plant this bomb down, and the smoke misses, so Skitty's head is free for the taking. It's 3 rounds for Mavrek, and it feels like they've gotten these rotational plays under wraps, I guess I could say.
Yeah, they're slowly but surely starting to get warmed up here, and before I was rudely interrupted there by Mungy trying to make it a very competitive round. I mean, what I've started to notice is once you kind of lose the pistol, you go on like a 4-round losing streak, because, I mean, you know, you lose the pistol, you don't get the bomb plant, you're going to lose the next round. Go into a buy round, you still don't really know how they're going to play. It is kind of a bonus round still, but yet you somehow lose it. It's really, usually Team A will get 4 rounds after winning the pistol, and then Team B just kind of starts to get the point of the map and get things going. That's something more typical I've seen nowadays, whereas before it used to be only 2 rounds and then the first buy round.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I almost wonder... Oh, wait a second. I'm getting shut up just like you were in the last round. Skitty finds the head of Arkham. Defensive smoke is deployed, and we're spamming through that monster smoke. Doesn't find a home to anything, so maybe I have a little bit of talking room. I'm interested to see if a second round full save and a third round kind of SMG half armor buy is going to start coming into form of in terms of the meta, because it feels like with that economy change and how teams are still trying to buy all out on that third round, it doesn't really feel beneficial in terms of the risk and reward.
Yeah, it does seem that way, and it does seem to lean for Mungy to be going towards this B bomb site, once again trying to test JJ. But if records show us correctly, we might find another double here. Is the B site now under wraps? Bernie, JJ cost him. Gooser and Cedar each taking both those B players down. They will stare down the barrel of a 5th round unless Pulverized and Shock want to go for this retake.
It's doable. You've got to find the right utility and find the right isolated duels. There's a boost opportunity waiting for them, but they're not going to take advantage of it. Pulverize is going to peer the gaze out and not find anything, and it's going to be a save call in order. And honestly, I don't necessarily mind it, especially considering that Mavrek have been able to claw back this gap just a tad bit. And so as Pulverize makes his run towards bank, the hunt will be on from Gooser, and he has to be a little bit quick, because if he's not, he'll go down with the bomb. And we're running into the slow-mo bug once again. Zeph, I don't know if you've run into this one in some of your...
know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my prior solution has just been to talk in slow-mo, so I've been hitting the and now
Oh,
Gooser is dry, but
yeah.
I feel like that doesn't necessarily have the same glimmer in a duo cast.
So one thing I've actually noticed, I don't know if Exploding's able to kind of pull it up, but if you open the console, you can see that it's the HLTV
Mm-hmm.
broadcast is
Yeah.
like being delayed for some reason.
Yeah.
It's not able to keep up with the rate of the server. So it's definitely a face it issue. That is for sure. But I know sometimes it works perfectly for like 10, 12 rounds or so. But then other times it'll be very consistent. So like right there, how it did slow down and now it's kind of back in the form. It looks like it's still kind of at a little bit of a slower pace. Um, it'll just kick you right after that. And then when you try to rejoin the server, like a black bar kind of appears, kind of cut off the screen when loading in, and then it just kicks you right away. And it's the most frustrating thing possible.
Interesting. I haven't gotten that far, or we haven't gotten that far into the bugs just yet. I definitely let I messaged on to see if you're aware of it. Bernie's eating a big chunk of spam damage, drop down to that 67 HP.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I know you want to.
I'm holding it in.
Come on. Dude, I can't tell you how much I heard it at the block. I don't need to hear it now, dude. Please, I'm begging.
I
Oh,
mean, come on,
man.
you had Fusion, you had Swifter, you had the whole 6-7 crew.
Oh,
And
God.
if you think about it, you technically had the current 6-7 Matcha Labubu roster, which I believe Mavrek goes on to face in the next couple of weeks, or actually next week. I could be wrong.
Probably. Yeah, oh, yeah, next week. Yeah, because that's what brought them up earlier before the broadcast. I have to say, I didn't realize who was on that roster, and when I found out that he signed up for Frag, I was very, very upset. Not for the fact that the players individually, but just because the name made me so angry. But Doc
Oh!
is angry as he takes down the triple. Swinging the round back into the favor of Mavrek until Skitty has something to say about that. JJ is down and out of the round, but still leaning in the favor of Mavrek as they've got that man advantage. Cedar's going to be rotating over all the way around the world towards the A site. Skitty looks to kind of fake the beat.
Yeah, and that Heaven Smoke plus the Flash, and actually an interesting little bit of movement. Oh, wow, the nades just actually draw the rotation back down from Shock, which creates a little bit of a gap out towards Long. And I was going to say a little bit of a interesting display from Skitty in terms of throwing that utility, not actually being hurt on the drop. So as the numbers to the bomb are punched in, Skitty's going to try and provide cover, but with 5 HP, it's not going to be that doable. So the bomb is going to be fully planted. Cedar's taking this close contact, but it feels a little bit risky, especially when his teammate is such low HP.
Arkham, come on, man. You can't kill
Come
Birdie like that.
on.
That's my boy.
Come on.
It happens. It happens. But you know what? Maverick won the round, Blakert, so it's A-okay.
Hey, I mean, we talked about it. It felt like Mavrek were a little bit lacking in terms of the rotation games because Mungy were able to manipulate the rotations in terms of, using some of that fake utility. And we saw it in that last round, number 9, where I believe it was Skitty that I was talking about through the Heaven Smoke plus the flash towards Pillar that actually drew Shock down to the site. And although it didn't necessarily matter in terms of the conclusion or how the round ended, it felt like that if Mungy are able to keep trying to manipulate the rotations with utility or even trying to, put pressure on one side of the map and immediately draw rotations and silently walk out towards another, it feels like they'll have a lot of success in doing so. Shock opens this up with a kill on towards Dexterous, and that's all of Fountain Control sees for Mavrek as well. I'm not sure if they know it yet, but as soon as the smokes fade towards Playground, it's known.
Well, it's definitely going to be known now that the water control will be in the favor of Mungy. So he's trying to find that early aggressive frag. But JJ, once again, I've said his name so often, but he's doing a hell of a good job over towards Monster.
No.
He's able to find another one with the USB. A bit of a whiff there. Finally goes down, but Arkham, this duo of JJ and Arkham are just really doing a fantastic job of holding down this B bomb site. I don't think there's been a round that's gone by at this point whenever Mungy go towards that B side of the map that both JJ or Arkham get at least one frag in their favor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you can even see with the utility that they're setting up for each other. Arkham setting up a pop flash in towards Monster for JJ to activate. And one thing I want to talk about is JJ's just ability to get kills, whether it's with the M4, whether it's with the USP, because I did not expect him to pull out the USP and be able to actually translate that into a kill. And somehow he comes out on top of the duel. It's going to be all Tech 9s for the side of Mungy, and they're going to try and challenge the Apple Pulverize, and they have won this fight initially. Shock finds another kill, but Pulverized Zop is being absolutely whittled away. Gooser,
No!
Gooser has
Stop!
Pulverized! 3 kills, and Arkham finds the 4th.
All right. Pulverize. Where was that, brother? What a.
I mean,
Oh.
the first question for me is, does Gooser have auto pickup on? Ran over the AK-47, pulled it out, and waited until the AK was pulled out into the hands, and that was just enough time for Pulverize to whip that op around and find the kill. Somehow able to whip out the USP as well, and Zeph, there's always excitement when you're watching a Maverick game.
It seems so. I know there's been a bit of a history there with Maverick as an org playing at Fragments, and somehow, some way, their games are just always very entertaining to watch. And it seems like it's going to be the case now as Pulverized is still reigning terror. Almost finds a third, but a nice shot from Swift to finally remove him. So now back into with even man scenario for both teams. Is Cedar looking to try and lurk, but able to find Bernie.
And in this man disadvantage, this is where Maverick tend to play the over-rotation game a little bit too hasty. And you can even see with that flashbang towards Monster, Shock is having his doubts, and Arkham actually finds the isolated duel and comes out on top, so that's plenty of information for Maverick to know that this hit is coming in towards this A site, but even then, Shock is still trying to commit towards this B rotation, and that gives up his advanced position up towards Pizza, and although Gooser did clear it initially, that was an opportunity to delay the push. Gooser's hearing all of these footsteps on the rotation from Arkham, but Shock still awaits towards Bank, and there's a free activation, but Shock is close, but the shadow plays into his favor, and he finds the initial kill. Bomb finally gets punched in. Nade over the top does not find its mark, and Swift has a tall order ahead.
He too almost gets his free transfer, but of course it's Arkham to save the day. 12 and 4 for him to end the half, as Maverick are able to recover and go 7 and 5.
Yeah. I mean, a solid half. It felt like initially... I mean, we talked about it. If you lose that pistol round, you're going to lose the 3 afterwards, and this is just kind of a case of that at its finest.
So we get into the half here. Maverick will switch over to this T side, and I mean, Blake, I feel like you've watched a bit more Maverick games than I have, so what do you think the call is going to be here on this pistol?
I've watched a few Maverick games, but I've never seen a Maverick overpass. If I had to guess with the amount of utility they have, I'm going to assume sort of B hit, but that is exactly where Mungy are going to stack. And my call was wrong, so if they're not going towards B, I'm assuming it's going to be out towards long and maybe an A split, but I might be wrong in that too. And that is exactly what happens. Gooser's going to take contact, dishes a little bit of damage, but is immediately on the back foot.
Can't always get it right. I mean, it is Counter-Strike after all. You can't always predict what's going to happen. It's kind of like gambling a little bit, but when you always lose, and it can sometimes get very scary. That many jump scares are in this game. And the big jump scare there is JJ and Bernie able to find heads a pair. Just swing out towards this B bomb site. Swift's going to be the one here to kind of stop things down here. Gooser over from heaven, trying to connect, but he's going to be dinked down instead. Down to 18 points of health. Swift whiffing some shots, able to finally connect on to Bernie. The bomb going down now at the hands of JJ. The rotation from Skitty now coming in. So the retake scenario looks to be on the cards here for Mungy. But look at Shock. He's on the flank. And looking to maybe cause some impact. Nobody's in heaven, so they've all jumped down towards Graffiti. They have the boost over. I don't think anybody's going to be caught out, but Shock! Shock behind you!
Shock!
Oh, he's got to have black bars. I refuse to believe he's playing on like native or stretched at this point.
I mean,
No
it's
way.
got to be. It's either stretched or black bars. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're on either of the stretch, or if you're on stretched or black bars, the results tend to be the same. And in terms of field of view, at least. So,
Yeah.
as we talked about, a little bit of 4-3 going on, but at the same time, it feels like there should have been some information peaks coming from the site players to be able to actually translate into, where those last 2 players were. And unfortunately, that did not come in, but Maverick nonetheless find the round win and will be able to translate it into somewhat of a buy. We see a Galil and an AK-47. Mac 10 in the hands of Arkham, and the rest of the utility is yet to be sorted.
Well, looks like Swift has picked up an HE grenade for this round. Not really much can come from it, but I do see 2 flashes on Gooser, Blaker. So, I mean, looking at this, I have to imagine Swift's going to throw the HE towards fountain entrance. Gooser's going to just probably toss flashes up behind him. I don't think it's going to be anything too out of the ordinary,
Yeah.
I guess, but maybe they do have something in the cards for us.
I'm gonna have to agree with that, and I think if I'm gonna learn one thing from or take one thing from our predictions away, it's gonna be that CT predictions on overpass are a little bit easier than the T. It's gonna be a full-out fountain rush, as Zeph mentioned. Swift finds the only kill for the CTs, but the cleanup was not necessarily there. Bernie Promod is able to wrangle the AK-47, but Skitty is close on the retreat, somehow skirted past JJ, and has the dual Berettas to work. JJ's on the close flank, but Skitty's heard the footsteps, and JJ is oblivious to it, so with the knife out, he'll fall. And that is a MAC-10 in the hands of Skitty, recovered into another MAC-10. I thought that was a rifle, but either way, Mavrek have this A bomb site. Bomb should be punched in relatively shortly, and Skitty is on the attack. Why plant front default?
That's a bold decision to make. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Just Skitty's going to be trying to save this MAC-10, maybe try and find any lurks remaining around the map. Okay. I don't
Yeah,
think the grenade be used that way, but okay.
I mean, we're learning new things every round, Zeph. I mean, we've seen the outside bathroom or the outside connector smoke. We're seeing the nades be used in freaky ways, but Pulverize is not going to teach the Galil any new tricks, and it's going to be a 9th round for Mavrek. One away from converting to that double digits, and Mavrek's T side has felt pretty good, but they're going to have to convert against the rifles of Mungy, and Mungy have been able to put up a hefty fight on their T side, I think, and realistically, I don't see them having any issue translating into their CT.
See what magic is in store. It looks like Mavrek want to opt in for this fast speed play. And earlier on, a nice opening from Bernie Promod. Skitty with the trade. Smokes out to kind of create a wall there, but it allows the bomb to go down. But a full blind flash won't matter as Cedar finds it. Pulverize finds Skitty, and Arkham finds Cedar. So, despite all the chaos, it is a man advantage for Mavrek once again. Swift is going to be rotating here, but look at the flank. Look at Gooser. He's all the way behind. Nobody on Mavrek's going to be aware of this, and that's a huge frag to find for Swift as he takes down Arkham. So Pulverized and JJ, they're not going to be aware of this flank whatsoever. It's way too early into the round still for this to be happening. But Pulverized is, but Gooser is just one shot better. JJ now going to go this flank, and he's going to go down as well. Gooser hitting the shots this round as he finds the double and a round for Mungy.
Yeah, and that's that solid flank coming in from Mungy that I don't want to say I expected, but based on how that one flank came in from Gooser with the MAC-10, I didn't expect anything short of that. So I have a feeling there should be some communication in the Mavrek camp that lurk is going to be persistent from the side of Mungy, because every single round, Gooser has been coming through the opposite side of the map. And on a map like Overpass, that is a very lengthy rotate, so I feel like if Mavrek are able to play some sort of a slow default and try to delay for information pushes from the CT side, then they might catch Gooser going for a little bit of an aggressive play that he doesn't necessarily want to actually go for.
Extras able to open out the round as the money is dwindled quite a bit there for Mavrek. Trying to go huge here, trying to hold this long push as much as he can. Does hop back up here, and like this a lot, but the swing from JJ is just too strong. And Pulverize is able to find another one. So this A site starting to see some cracks in the CT defense here from Mungy, excuse me. Both teams start with an M, a little bit difficult to use words there. Cedar alone towards Chuck, gonna have to try and hold this as best he can. He does even better than that. Finds the double, looking for the triple, but it's dexterous to make his way out of dumpster. And Arkham now in a 1-on-3. Turning to a 1-on-2. The Cedar's gonna have to try and get this frag. Yes, he will. And Mungy find number 7.
Yeah, and an interesting 7. It felt like a little bit of a drop of the ball from the side of Mavrek as everyone one by one tried to clear out Cedar from Truck and just ended up feeding him the kills that round, and that's a lot of money in the bank account to work with as well. Rifle, I believe, was dropped, but if not, still a lot of money to work with in the next. And Mavrek still on the back foot in terms of the econ. Upgraded pistols in the hands of Pulverized, but not much else. No utility, no other upgraded pistols, and the P250 is all they're trying to work with.
This is Mungy's chance to get things going, to make this game a little bit more competitive. Not to win here, but Goose is going to find a spray and find two. So will Swift. So done around here for JJ and the rest of Mavrek is able to pick up the AK, but he's got no one in his name and around. Just down and dusted, unfortunately. A nice round from Mungy. Their CT side is starting to get beefed up.
Round 18 on the horizon, though, Zeph. We see AK-47s being brought out for the side of Mavrek. Plenty of utility to work with as well. Bernie Promod lacks a little bit of that lethal utility, but I don't think it'll be that big of an issue. And realistically, Mavrek's main priority needs to be establishing spread map control and trying to apply pressure to different parts of the map, while Mungy are, kind of leaning back in their chairs at this point and waiting for Mavrek to encroach on any part of the map. And so I feel like Mavrek are taking a little bit too much of a passive approach in the early stages.
Need to find any sort of weakness on the side. Mungy. So I'm going to go to kind of slow things down, not wanting to press any issues early on. Trying to read the CT defense, and it looks like the call on the CT side has been made to take that early water control. Nobody's going to be home on the side of Mavrek, so that's going to give him plenty of information. JJ certainly heard they have pushed in here, though. So spotted Bernie Promod over towards connector. So the gears and the brains are turning for Mungy. They're going to slowly start to realize that play might be towards his A site.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the cogs are turning just yet. Maybe as of now, Swift finds the kill and immediately is backed out towards short and trying to make a rotation back towards this A site. But for the time being, Gooser is just left on an island out towards long. And if Mavrek continue their path up towards bathrooms, then they might have a free flank, at least in terms of Mungy coming in and having a free flank. Dexterous is going to find JJ, that sole lurk of Mavrek, and now it's a 3v5. Mavrek haven't been able to put their foot into the door of this round just yet. The rest of Mungy are looking to slam it shut.
The gunfire exchanged on that A site as two players remain for Mavrek. As time's a ticket, Swift will be the one to close out the round. Finds one, looking for a second one, and yes, he will. The bomb does go down for Mavrek, but the round is lost. And now we're all tied up at 9-9 apiece as the comeback from Mungy is looking oh so real.
Yeah, looking realer than ever. 9-all. Money not in the best place. If you're on the side of Mavrek, you can see Bernie Promod at $3,500, JJ at $3,600, and the other members do have enough to rifle AK, but that's not necessarily the position you want to put yourself in, especially when you're in this close of contention for the lead and even for the series.
Well, looks like monster smoke earlier on from Skitty. I like that. Pistol's not really looking too great here in terms of the buy. They got the Tech 9 rush once again for Mavrek. See if they can create a difference, but Dexterous fully blind. Connects on to two, but that's going to allow them to run out as he's run out of ammo. Arkham finds one. Cedar finding another double. And Blaker, we were saying in the first half that the dynamic duo of Arkham and JJ on this B site were so deadly, always finding what felt like 2 frags every round. They come towards B. Well, now it's the complete opposite. But Arkham, the man I was just mentioning, in a 1-on-3. Find Skitty to bring to a 1-on-1, but it's not going to matter as Mungy retake the lead.
I thought there was a chance there, Zeph. You were gassing him up, and then he was finding kills, and there was a possibility that he pulled off the 1v5 or 1v4. But 2020 is, or wait, what's the saying? 2020 is hindsight or something like that. Hindsight's 2020, something like that. I don't know. What
You tried.
I butchered that one, but round 20 is right ahead of us. It's gonna be a full buy from Mavrek. And a T-sided op from Pulverized on Overpass, which isn't something that I'm too familiar with, at least in terms of Mavrek, and some immediate counter-aggression from Gooser, which does pique my interest. I'm wondering if there's going to be an immediate rotation towards this B-side from Mungy, but you can even see as Gooser does hit the floor, There's going to be a rotation from Mungy towards this A site. Mavrek still haven't put the pedal to the metal just yet. And that's going to allow Mungy to go hunting for information out towards short. But JJ is posted on it. He can't connect the shots as the flash just narrowly caught his eye. So he finds an assist. Bernie Promod finds Dexterous asleep at the wheel. And Mungy feel a little bit disconnected right now, no? These rotations out through long are just narrowly going to be heard by Swift, but even then, he has the AWP. Skitty's on his way up towards bank and just has to jump spot.
Looks like Skitty has jump spotted at the right time. The op looked like it was maybe prone on his position, but it won't shoot off. Instead, the AWP of Swift will rise up. Swift and Skitty each able to find some frags in their favor. Arkham now 1-on-2. Wasn't able to clutch it in the previous round. Looking to try and do it again here. Looks at the bomb at the worst possible time. It happened. The timing doesn't work out for him. Mungy, fine 11.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. The timing definitely not working out. Cedar a little bit late on that rotation and a little bit late on the dumpster peak because he missed the jump. So, a little bit of a self-inflicted win, I guess you could say. Round number 21 brings AK-47s once again for Mavrek. No outstanding utility, but nothing to necessarily write home about either. And the op of Swift hasn't necessarily had to get active too much. It feels like Swift has been active with the rifle more so. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to convert that AWP into some kills. But it's heavy water control from Mavrek early on, and it feels like they're trying to push the pedal out towards B.
Promod finding the entry. He's doing well, but Dexterous does a little bit better. Finds a double Arkham with the trade. Now down to a 2-on-3. That was Arkham's making the magic happen for Mavrek. He finds the double. And Swift and Goose are kind of locked out of this B-bomb site as Arkham's going to get the hat trick for him. 3 very nice frags to find. But Swift alone in the clutch. Oh, it's going to be Arkham. Oh, he's just having an astounding overpass of our 22-11 for him.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. Arkham and JJ on the CT side, both holding down the B side, and as we've headed in towards, or as we've head straight into the T side, JJ has had a little bit of a fall off, but I feel like that's because the team information pushes from Mungy out towards B, where JJ is trying to lurk, have been very spot on, whether it's been with the coordinated flashbangs or even just trying to dry double peek it. JJ hasn't been able to come out on top of those exchanges, and rightfully so, because if he's coming out on top of every 1v2 he's thrown in, then he needs to be sent towards the Pro League.
Maybe sent towards that Pro League, maybe. But looks like this is still anybody's game technically, and this is a big round to win for either side as the money's not looking too good. Highest earning player right now at least is Skitty with 2,300. And even then that's not too much to work with though. But Swift's gonna have to make some action happen with that AWP. As long will be the play. Able to charge in and find one, but the walls are surrounding him and not able to get that trade. Oh, Skitty not able to find that frag either. So A site taken in a very dominant fashion here for Mavrek. Completely locking out Gooser and Dexterous, but Gooser might have the timing through bathrooms. Bomb's still yet to go down. Arkham will find a chance to stop it. Gooser finds one, looks to find a second one, and he can, but the bomb has gone down successfully. Shock now having to run on through and finds a low HP Dexterous. And Gooser's gonna do all the work in almost the round 2. Oh my goodness, Bernie's down to 16 HP, but he's able to clutch out the round.
Able to clutch out the round, gets a boatload of utility as well on his retreat towards dumpster, so a little bit less of an investment required and a little bit more money to drop the teammates. So all rifles all the way around for the side of Mavrek as we are 11 all headed into round number 23. And Zeph, I don't know what it is about you and I, but every time we cast together, it seems like we always either hit overtime or stare down the barrel of it. And this one is not looking any better.
It really does seem like every time this happens, you know what I mean? A lot of the games that shouldn't be close do end up being very close. And the games that we think will be close are just full-on blowouts. So right now, at least the prediction for once has gone right. We both thought it was going to be a close game, and that's exactly what we're getting. So a guaranteed full 24 rounds of regulation here. Very rare 5-on-5 retake. Shock's able to find one on Gooser. They're going to try and storm out here in a bit of a random kill there on the Cedar. I don't think Shock is really aiming for him there, but it's going to be a flawless round there from Mavrek at the right time as well.
Yeah, I think Shock pulled out the nade because he saw the kill on the kill feed and tried to nade or at least pull out a molly or delay those connector players even a little further. But as you mentioned, a little bit of a random kill grants a little bit of an entrance, but can't necessarily capitalize on it. It is map point for Mavrek, but we are staring down the barrel of a close affair. It's come down to the final round of regulation to see if Mavrek are going to be able to put it away, or if Mungy are going to take us into overtime, and they have all of the firepower and all of the utility to do so.
To see, a minute 39 left on the clock. They've got some time to work with, and they got a full round buy round to play with as well. They're going for the standard default. They've got the early water control as well, looking to try and find a bit of a magic shot there on a Swift as he's tagged down. 29 HP. Gooser, bit of gunfire exchange as well, has to back off, and well, I mean, just kind of based off this default, I would imagine they're going to head towards this B site.
Yeah, you would think. You can already see the rotations being thought about for the side of Mungy. Swift's rotation should be completely locked in as soon as this utility starts flying over, but Dexterous can't find that entrance kill, and that's the player that's been so reliant on this B defense. Gooser's still towards pit, and so is Skitty, and they're able to find kills of their own, but JJ trades Skitty out immediately. Gooser towards heaven is gushed down to 14, and it's all onto the two members of Mungy, but they don't have the health to work with, and JJ is looking to get aggressive and in the faces of Mungy.
Pulling off a bit of the Heimlich maneuver here, but can they finish it off? And yes, they can. JJ, of course, finds the double to end the game. And that'll be Mavrek taking the W here on Overpass, 13 and 11.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit of a close affair, and we talked about how we expected it to be a close affair, but a great showing from Mavrek nonetheless. So congratulations to them for improving that record to 4-2, because with the new way that ESEA is structured, Zeph, some of these crucial matches at the beginning of the season that weren't necessarily considered important, and I think that teams were comfortable losing for seeding purposes, now become a lot more crucial, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I've played ESEA in my time, and you know, the first 2, 3, even 4 weeks feel really great if you can get those early wins off, because then you know maybe you only need to win half of the remaining games to qualify for playoffs. But even if you do throw a couple of them, you know, it's not you shouldn't throw a match. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you should absolutely not do that. But even losing those first couple matches, it definitely does make a big difference. It makes your schedule a lot easier going forward. And right now, I do think Mavrek are in a very good spot. I think, what are they, 3-2 at this point, or 4-2?
That win, I think, makes them 4-2. Let me refresh the page real quick.
Yes, yeah,
4-2. 4-2.
Okay, so then yeah, they're in a pretty good spot overall. I think what is it? They got 8 more matches to go, so they've got plenty of time. They really only need, I think four more matches to win overall to qualify for playoffs and open 9-10. So either way, I think they're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, and then of course once they hit the playoffs, it's the top 4, I believe, that win ESEA or playoffs from each division that make it to the ESEA finals, and the ESEA finals, of course, has a chance to be covered by HLTV, which then in turns means it's VRS regulated. So some big things on the way for NACS, and other than that, Zeph, I think that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and send it. My name has been Blakert. Zeph, once again, thank you for joining us on the mic. And as always, you're always welcome here on the Blakert_CS channel. And we've had Exploding behind the camera, giving us the beautiful camera angles. And without further ado, we hope you have a great night.